Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I am so happy to have you here. We're going to dive straight into your reading. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you. Um, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. We're going to dive right in and see what messages we get today. All right, guys. Here we go. For Pisces. Yes. Okay, Pisces, you are getting the universe has my back on the bottom of the deck. Oh, wow. Yes, this is so high vibe. Okay. So you guys are getting my vibes speak louder than my words. Happiness is my birthright. My capacity to tune in to the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. Pisces, wow, okay. I feel like you've been through a bit of a winding journey here. I just get that. You know, I don't want to misquote certainly one of my viewers, but there was a comment the other day about how, as Pisces, you are misunderstood sometimes, but it helps. I mean, the gift you get from that, well, actually, it's not even the gift you get, it's the gift you end up giving everyone, is compassion, is understanding, is empathy. Because you have been misunderstood. You do know what that feels like. There are people that go through life never feeling misunderstood. And they may be those people that lack empathy and compassion, right? Um, But Pisces, it feels there's this energy of where, I mean, I really feel it's like you're taking your power back. It's a very empowered energy, and it's an energy of, when we believe that the universe has our back, when we believe that there are forces greater than us that are benevolent and that are, connected to us and are here to support this experience that we're having as a spiritual being in a human body, um, we are more optimistic. And we do feel like, yes, I am meant to be happy. Yes, I am supposed to have happiness in my life. That's why faith and hope are so important. Um, and I mean, that's not the only reason why, but it is a reason why. Um, and it feels like Pisces, you're just stepping out there and you're like, happiness is my birthright, and like I am going to do what it takes to be happy. I'm going to have the people in my life that contribute to my happiness. I am going to do the work that makes me feel happy, or I'm going to focus on the parts that make me happy. There's an energy here of really stepping into kind of like the abundant mindset, or the mindset of there is more than enough, and there is more than enough for me. And when you really focus on that and you really believe that and you really embrace that, your abundance increases, right? Because where our focus goes, our energy flows. So we're going to bring more energy and more focus to the things that are making us happy. And when we do that, automatically, right, it grows, because that's where we're putting our focus on in our life. Okay, I think I just said that like 3 times, and I'm sure you know what I mean. All right, so I feel like, this is something that's felt. It's a transformation that's felt by other people. It's not in anything that you say. It's felt in your vibes with other people. And other people are really attracted to that. Other people are always seeking that. When you are in that high energy vibe, a lot of people, start coming towards you. I don't mean toxic positivity or anything like that. I just mean when we are feeling positive and optimistic. Yeah, wow. Oh, Pisces. Oh, you have definitely persevered on a winding road here, Pisces. You have perseverance. And this is, there's a bull on there. So we may be dealing, you may have Taurus strong in your chart, or you may be dealing with a Taurus, or a Taurus may even be responsible for the reason you needed to persevere, or an influence in your life that taught you how to persevere, or the importance of persevering. You have this energy of passage. You, this is, I have not used these cards in years. I did the deep dive into the tarot closet. And I'm glad I did. So you have, wow, oh my gosh, you guys, some of you I have talked about owls as, oh my gosh, owls as a symbol. And then we have butterflies, which are always a symbol. And we had them here too, but yeah, just maybe specifically monarch butterflies. Yeah, there's this, as Pisces, I have noticed that, like, my grandpa, I've said many times, was a Pisces. And he really had a deep appreciation of music. And he had this major record player system with these incredible speakers. I've never heard anything that comes close to the sound of his stereo in my life. Like, not even, it's just, I don't know. It was really remarkable. But he had like every jazz band record that he loved. I mean, he had a closet full of them, this whole system. And he always had to unplug and just go listen to music. He had a rocking chair that was his dad's rocking chair, and he would just sit in that rocking chair and rock and smoke a pipe and listen to his jazz band music. And it's like he had to do that. He had to root and ground and recenter in order to be able to give to his family or the people around him. And, some people might take that as selfishness or something like that, like to spend time on yourself. But, I think he was somebody that really needed it. He would give you everything he had while he was present, but he needed to unplug as well. And I think most Pisces are like that. I think most Pisces they need that time to rejuvenate, to refill their cup, because they are very giving. I feel like you guys really do show up for people wholeheartedly and authentically for the most part. And that it requires you to refill your cup, right? So, I feel like there's this energy though. You have this like void and held energy, and it's like, looking for something and not really being able to find it, or not really being able to reach it, to see it, to find your way through it. Kind of, it feels like, or maybe even getting to a place where you're questioning something about that. But with this held energy, it's like you go within and you find your answers and you find yourself, and you're able to really, give yourself, refuel yourself, and give yourself back what you need. And it feels like you're going through, or you went through this period. It almost feels like, I keep saying this, but it is like that cocoon energy, where it's like, it may have been a lonely time, it may have been a difficult time for whatever reason. Um, it's interesting because a part of me feels like, I wonder if that happened because you were giving too much to others without taking that time for yourself. And you have restored that balance within yourself of making sure that you are giving to yourself, or that you are, unplugging or taking this time to refill your cup, is how it keeps coming to me. You've been through some kind of transformation, and it may have something to do with boundaries. It may have something to do with self-love. I don't know what this is completely, but it feels like it may have been all of the above even, but it's like you're emerging out of this cocoon time into this butterfly. This is so funny. I don't know. I keep getting the imagery of a cocoon in your readings. But you're emerging out of this period of time ready to be happy, ready to embrace, ready to open up, ready to receive your happiness. And with this owl here, it's like you learned A lot. You may have felt very alone or very lonely, or like you were looking for your pack, or you were looking for a partner, or you were looking for someone who understood you, especially with this void energy. But it's like whatever happened in this cocoon stage, however you transformed, whatever possibly limiting beliefs you let go of, or whatever you have done to kind of like self set yourself free, it's showing up in many ways. And it's you have this sun card, and then you have this happiness is my birthright card, and it's like there's this energy of, a lot of times what is keeping us from our own happiness, or what is keeping us from our own soul journey, it seems like, is us, right? And we're kind of almost like taught to immediately say, okay, I'm not happy, or, whatever, and then try to change things outside of ourselves in our life, try to get some different combination that's going to make us happy. And we're just grabbing and grasping and clinging and forcing and getting attachments, trying to do this. And we're really not getting anywhere closer to our happiness. But when we take that time, when we just sort of acknowledge, like, I'm looking for something that doesn't seem to be there, let me look somewhere else. Instead of looking outside myself, let me look inside myself. And then really getting to this place of, one, loving ourselves, but two, really understanding and knowing what it is that's going to make us happy. We sort of walk through life glossing over it and accepting all the imagery and the, commercialized ideas of what's going to make us happy. But the reality is, is that really going to make you happy? Is that really your equation? It may make some people happy, or happy to a degree, but our real happiness comes from a sense of connection. It comes from a sense of connection to ourselves, to loving ourselves, and in connection with others, and having real unconditionality in those spaces. And it's hard to get there. It's a constant work. It's a constant journey, and no one can really tell you how to get there or what to do. You know what I mean? It's the roadmap is within you, and it's as unique as you are. There's no across the board, this makes everyone happy kind of energy. Yeah, so I feel like you have done that, and I feel like you're emerging, and it's time for you to like claim your reward. It's time for you to have the experience, you know what I mean, that you were working toward this whole time in this cocoon phase. But you're emerging so much wiser with a much bigger picture of life and of, the experience of living and being human, even, it feels like, and the transformations that are possible, I just actually watched this video on attachment style and how it relates to narcissism. And guys, whoa, it was a lot. But anyway, why am I telling you this? Oh, but it's like, as the person was saying in the video, it is about, it's not about, but we can change our attachment style. We can work toward earned, secure attachment style, right? And so, if those tendencies and stuff are related, then that's sort of hopeful. But anyway, but even beyond that, just for each and every single one of us, we can always be working to move toward a more secure attachment style. And there's a ton of information out there. There's tons of books about that. But that is an active step that we can take for ourselves to bring us closer to being in the best place we can be moving into a relationship. And that's the only thing that we can control. We can't control the other person. We can't control who, how they're going to show up, whether or not they've dealt with their wounds, whether or not they have moved toward a secure attachment style. But we can do it for ourselves. And as we begin to do it for ourselves, our vibration changes, and who we're attracting toward us changes. So, if you feel like you're anxious or avoidant or fearful or, whatever in relationships, or you want more information about it, I highly recommend looking into the attachment style, because it is something that we can work on. All right, so let's dive in. Pisces, there's this energy of having learned my lessons. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I see this abused energy, and it says, don't get used by your kindness. It can be mistaken for weakness. Um, and, you know, I do feel that way sometimes, is that Pisces is so unconditional with their love, or they are so understanding and non judgmental fundamentally as people, I feel like, for the most part, that there's just this energy of, um, yeah, you know, there are always going to be people that want that supply of that energy, or that are, going to take more than they give, or take and not give anything at all. And I think, Pisces, you've had your fair share of that. You've experienced that more times than not, with friendships and in relationships for some of you. And I feel like you're like, okay, I'm looking for people who are in it for the long haul. I'm looking for people who are wanting to invest in me the way that I want to invest in them, and who are wanting to have meaningful connection over the course of time. All right. And so there's this energy of, you know, I've learned a lot from my experiences, and I know what I don't want, and it's like I'd rather be alone than having someone mistaking my kindness for weakness, or taking advantage of me, or taking more from me than they're giving. Because alone, at least I can achieve a lot. At least I'm going to use that energy that I would be paying towards that person or that relationship or that energy. And I feel this with like friendships, coworkers, like everything. I feel this energy of Pisces kind of turning their back, and kind of just not worrying about it anymore, or just kind of being like, when I say not worrying about it anymore, it's like being liked by everybody, or by having people's approval or something like that. It's like I feel this energy of like, you know, why do I care what people think about me when they're not even able to reciprocate what I'm offering them? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do I care what those people think? They're not capable of giving me what I'm giving to them, or what I'm capable of giving. So, there's this imbalance from the very jump. So there is this like, I really have my focus on what I want, and I'm willing to be by myself until I find it, until I come across it. But I'm not willing to take a chance on something because it may be, or it could be, or because it's willing to take a chance on me. There's a whole selectivity thing happening here that I feel like, and this may be the wisdom that you're emerging with, is that you've been giving your energy to a lot of sources that were taking and not really returning it, or you were showing up for people who didn't show up for you. And it's like, you've learned a big lesson from this, that it's better to maybe, not give so much of yourself to other people who are just going to take advantage of it and not be grateful for it, not appreciate it, and certainly not reciprocate it. It's better to be by themselves. So there's this energy of being selective, and of turning your back, and being okay being by yourself, or being okay not really winning the approval of other people, or not really having the approval of other people. It's like you could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? I don't, some people are going to give it and some people aren't, and I accept that. So I don't care. I'm not taking that as my barometer as to how worthy I am or how lovable I am anymore. And then there's this energy with spiritual factors. Your love life is influenced by your spiritual pain. And I don't know how I feel about that statement, but I tell you what I take from this card is that, you're looking for someone who's going to be real with you. You're looking for someone to acknowledge their authenticity, to acknowledge their own vulnerability, and because you're willing to. And I feel like if someone's kind of showing up in this energy of like even giving you an excuse from the jump of why they can't show you their vulnerability, you're kind of like, okay, you might be a lovely, wonderful person. I might feel a sense of chemistry with you, but that's just not enough for me anymore. I need someone who is willing to be vulnerable, who is willing to show up authentically. Because I'm showing up authentically or I'm not showing up at all. Like, that's the choice that I've made. That's the thing that I've learned, or that's the wisdom that I have, or whatever this is. Okay. And it's not to say that you're not seeing the best in other people. I think you are. I don't think you've gotten, I don't think this is saying I'm skeptical of everyone or I just automatically think all relationships are bad on your part. What I think it is, I know it's like I keep seeing the Queen of Cups and how she's holding on to that gorgeous ornate cup. And she's like, I know the value of this now. I understand the value of what I'm offering other people. And I know whether you can reciprocate or not because you're showing me that by saying, I can be vulnerable, which means you can open your heart and you can receive what I'm giving you. And you can also give me back the same in return. That's unconditionality, right? So you have this plant your seeds, and it says plant your seeds in a love situation or work related or your goals. And Pisces, I kind of just feel that energy all around. You've been getting a ton of aces in all your readings. And I feel like, even in the private readings that I'm doing for Pisces, there's a lot of aces coming out. And, and that happens from time to time. And it usually, when you do see it happen in the tarot, you do see, I do have clients coming to me and saying like, oh my gosh, this happened. So anyway, I feel like there is this energy of understanding that, this choice or this decision that you have made for yourself today to respect yourself and to honor yourself and to really understand the value of what you are offering other people, and kind of setting your standard for what you will not, what you are looking for and what you will not allow into your life, and kind of putting a name or a thing. And for some of you, it may not be vulnerability. For some, please don't let me put words in your mouth. For some of you, it may be other things, but with the spiritual factors, it just feels like that you're willing to own your humanness. You know what I mean? Because that is very spiritual, like owning our own humanness. And to be human is to be vulnerable. Life is fucking fragile. So we have this plant your seeds kind of energy, and it's like this almost understanding of, I've made this choice today, and the ship that's coming toward me may not appear, it may not even be something that I can see right now, but I know this is the right choice for me. Like that high priestess divine, connection energy is like reassuring me almost that this is the right path for me to take at this time, and that, with perseverance here, my seed, this decision, this choice is going to grow into something that is reflecting back to me the value that I'm holding for myself and what I have to give in what is coming toward me externally. Do you see what I'm saying? As within, so without. And this is a really powerful choice that shows the universe and the rest of the world, like, hey, I know what I deserve. I know what I'm worth. And I'm confident. And I also understand that it is my birthright to be happy. And that if I am holding true to myself and I'm being the pillar of consciousness in my own life, and I'm, willing to be by myself in order to, wait for the right thing to invest in, right? The right thing, when I know that this is the one that's going to appreciate and be able to reciprocate what I'm offering. Like I know it's out there, and I am I'm keeping my eyes very trained and very focused on this understanding that I have, that the universe has my back and that happiness is my birthright. And that this choice is the most powerful choice I can make in the present moment available to me right now. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Okay, we're going to dive into the tarot. The Hierophant. Whew! Oh my God, Pisces, Lord have mercy. When the tarot really confirms you like this, I call it the cards are hot, like I'll say that, but you know, it's also, it's like, I feel that when, you know, I'm reading cards and I see something so clearly, and then I go to get the tarot, and the first thing the tarot says is exactly what I've been saying all along in this reading. This is confirmation from the universe. This is the universe saying, yes, this is your message. You know what I mean? If you're resonating with it, I don't mean it's everyone's message, but the Hierophant here is this commitment. It is this commitment to, I understand the value of what I'm giving, and I understand, you know, what the importance of waiting to give it to someone who can appreciate it and can reciprocate it. So with the Empress energy, I mean, this is the great manifester, right? This is, nothing is impossible for the Empress, right? And so there's this energy with the Empress and the Seven of Pentacles, which is the energy of the seeds that we plant today, right? What we are investing in, and this investment in ourselves and the belief of who we are and what we deserve and how much we love ourselves and how committed we are to, you know, waiting for the person who really does have the key to our heart, for the person who is ready to be vulnerable or willing to be vulnerable, or whatever it is that you feel like it is for you. Yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune, this is basically the universe has my back. I'm trusting that the right set of circumstances will happen, that, you know, the right person will come into my life, and I'm, you know, right, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I know that eventually, you know, the wheel is going to turn in my favor. That's the one thing we know for sure about this experience in this universe, is that things will change. And so as much as things go against you, or as much as things don't work out for you, things always have the possibility of changing very swiftly and very quickly to working out for you. It's really just around the corner all the time. And, you know, no matter what you're going through, it will not last forever. You know, that's why on your happy days, when the sun is shining, it's like, live it up. You know, enjoy it, get the most out of it, appreciate it, be grateful for it, multiply it, make it last as long as it possibly can, right? And when the chips are down, remind yourself constantly, it's just a matter of time before the chips come up. I've probably told this story on here, but it's like I think it's like a Chinese proverb or something about this Chinese farmer named Sai. And he had a son, and one day they had this gorgeous mare, wild mare, show up on their farm. And the son rode it and knew that it was a super fast horse, and he took it to the races, and he and this mare, the son and the mare, won all of these races. And everyone came to Sai and said, oh, Sai, how fortunate for you, how blessed and how lucky that this mare showed up on your property. And Sai looked at him, shook his head, and said, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You know, sometimes life is good and sometimes it's not. Then his son was racing the mare and broke his leg and was like maimed. And, you know, people came and said, oh, we're so sorry, Sai, that your son got injured. How terrible, how sad. And Sai nodded his head and said, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You know, sometimes life is working out for you and sometimes it's not. And then there was a horrible war. The neighboring places were getting invaded. And so all the men from the village had to go to war except Sai's son, because he was maimed in that accident. And he had to use a cane and he wasn't able to fight. So people said, oh, Sai, how fortunate, because most of the men didn't return, and the ones that did were a shadow of themselves. They had seen such horrors at the war. And people said, oh, Sai, how fortunate for you that your son didn't go off to war. And he said, well, you know, sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? Shook his head. And then, you know, so anyway, you get the point. That sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down, but that's sort of the beauty of it. It's that, you know, we have the presence of mind and the understanding and the awareness to be happy and to be grateful when things are good. And that, you know, when things are bad, we have that hope and that understanding that the universe has our back. It hasn't turned its back on us, that it's going to change again and it's going to be in our favor. And with the Six of Swords, this is coming to a place of peace and acceptance with, you know, our past, and with, you know, it's kind of that energy of, you know better, you do better, and I know better. You know, I lost a lot back there. You see all these little crow feathers in the water, but you know what, I'm leaving that energy behind. I'm not staying there. I'm taking myself to better, calmer waters, and the better, calmer waters exist where I stop giving to people who don't deserve what I'm giving and can't reciprocate it back to me. With the Death card here, you see he's flying away from all these losses in life. And you see here, he's rising up. He's gone through this transformation. He has this wisdom. He's headed toward his happiness. Full card energies, beginning the major arcana again, closed out a cycle, and we're starting a new one here with this commitment to ourselves, with this commitment to our own happiness. And so, yeah, you can see this commitment, this decision that we make to ourselves brings about this energy. You know, it brings about this high vibration, this deep understanding, us with us, of what we are worth and what we deserve, and our unlimited capacity to actually bring more abundance into our life. Really, I feel like in this reading, through the practice of gratitude. The Empress for Pisces. The Ace of Swords. Seeing myself clearly, understanding my worth, understanding my value, understanding my own limitlessness. You know, with these two hummingbirds on this Ace of Swords, the hummingbirds, I've probably told this story on here, they fly across the entire Gulf of Mexico. This always blows my mind. If you've stood on a beach in, you know, St. Pete or Tampa Bay or wherever on the Gulf Coast, all you can see is water for miles and miles and miles. And you know, you just think about these little tiny birds that are the size of my thumb flying all the way across it without stopping. I mean, that's insane. It's like, it should be impossible, but they do it all the time. And that's the thing. You have the power to transform anything. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to not be willing to accept less than what you deserve. You have to sit in your value and your worth. With the Eight of Cups, you have to be willing to walk away from the things that aren't able to give you what you need or what you want. Six of Swords again, with the Seven of Pentacles, and you have the Page of Wands. Yes, this is an energy of, you know, planting the seeds for what we want. And with the Six of Swords, this is coming to a place of peace and acceptance with our past, so that it doesn't interfere with the seeds that we're planting today and the fruit that we're bearing tomorrow. Because with the Page of Wands, this is telling me this is a brand new adventure. This is a brand new journey. I'm choosing myself, or I'm choosing this path. I'm choosing to commit to this path. What, you know, however long it takes, if it comes, it comes. If it goes, it goes. But I'm accepting life the way that it's coming at me, and I'm letting go of anything that would restrict me or hold me back. For Pisces. Dang. Oh my. Oh my God. Okay, Pisces. So you're getting justice with the King of Pentacles with the World here. The scales get balanced out. I am actually loving this Crow Tarot. I do sometimes really get into it. But today it's just really giving me messages. So you have this justice energy with the King of Pentacles, and this is where things balance out. This is where someone enters your life that has also reached some kind of level of mastery here and is actually willing to offer you something solid and stable and committed. The King of Pentacles is the husband of the tarot. He's the one that can really offer you what you're looking for. The long haul with spiritual factors, you know? He is not, he's secure. He's a secure attachment. Right there it is. You know, he is not worried. He is not fearful. He is not avoidant. He's someone who, you know, has been successful and rests on the knowledge that he is abundant and that he can provide, and he can provide more for himself. And this really balances out the scales for you. This is like a karmic scale rebalancing where, you know, the experiences that you have had in the past, just that whole cycle is closed here with the World card energy. It closed with this decision and this commitment that you made to yourself. And as a result, it's showing up. And when we're talking about pentacles in tarot, we're talking about in real life. We're talking about the physical manifestation of it. You know, I'm not even worried about whether this is a past person or whether this is a new person. This is the right person. You know what I mean? This is like, all right, it's Mr. Right. Whether it's somebody that you already have some kind of connection with or some kind of deep feelings for, or whether it's someone new, it's like, I do believe you recognize this moment when it comes and you grab it with both hands here, the opportunity to close out this cycle. Yeah, and come together in a healthy way with someone, you know, in a balanced way. Yeah, you've learned your spiritual lesson, Pisces. All right, I will clarify. What else can you tell us about this Justice and King of Pentacles? Wow, oh my gosh. Pisces. Oh my gosh, Pisces. Some of you may be dealing with the Leo. You have the sun coming out twice. You also have the, oh my God, look at that. The Emperor with the High Priestess with the freaking Nine of Cups and the sun. Are you kidding me? You have the Empress already. So, you know, this is like calling in a true match for you. And it's knowing it when you see it. You know, with the High Priestess and the Emperor, there's this deep knowing. And that's what you're working on here, Pisces. You're working on some kind of deep intuitive knowing that, you know what, if you do commit and make this decision, you will, like, the Mr. Perfect's gonna show up, or Miss Perfect, or, you know, somebody who can deliver here, somebody who's empowered, somebody who makes decisions that are in the highest and best of everyone, someone who can make you very happy, someone who's worth giving up what you've created for yourself for. The Sun card, this is, and wow, with the Magician under here, there is definitely an energy of manifestation involved in this. But with the Sun card here, you have, this is you manifesting your own happiness, and this is how it appears. This is how it shows up. For Pisces, wow. For Pisces, thank you. Queen of Cups. There she is, understanding the value and the worth of what she has to offer. Wow. You have the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. And this Two of Wands is like a very lovebirdsy energy. It's like, wow. Wow. You know those diviners or whatever that lead you toward water, you know, that tell you, okay, like this is the one. That's how this is the energy I'm getting from this Two of Wands. It's like it takes you in the right direction. This decision, this choice, this strategy bridges the gap from where you are to where you want to be, you know? And it really comes from understanding the value of the cup. Honestly, really and truly. God, and the value of walking away from things that cannot show up for you, Pisces. Even if you have such feelings, even if it's hard to let go. Look at that. This is the only Nine of Wands where it's like she's kind of putting it down, or he's kind of putting it down for their happiness, because they believe in it. Wow. Okay, let me see. Let me clarify this. Also, when you think about the 3, the 2, and then the Ace of Wands, there's this energy of, I mean, really and truly coming together with what you want, what you desire, getting that beginning that you desire. 7 of Pentacles, again, you guys. It takes time. King of Coins, 4 of Wands. Holy crap. Okay, 7 of Swords. We got to clarify that. The Hierophant and the 6 of Coins. Let me clarify this 7 of Swords. Oh, wow. Okay, I just got it. Like, this person comes into your life and you finally get what it is that you've been wanting to build, or the opportunity to build what you want to build. Because you've stopped with the Hierophant and the 7 of Swords betraying yourself, or accepting less than you deserve, or sort of dealing with people who may ghost you, or may make a bunch of promises and then may sneak out in the middle of the night without fulfilling a single one. This commitment to yourself is what changes things and really brings about reciprocity with the 6 of Coins. But let me clarify the 7 of Swords for Pisces. For Pisces. Oh my God. Yeah. Honestly. You know, our fear and our inability to sleep at night, those things that really bother us and are really like on our mind a lot and keep us thinking a lot, those things, that is where, if we are willing to shine a light on them, we can expose the spaces in which we're betraying ourselves, where we are misaligned, us with us. Because when you compare what your life looks like to what it wants to look like, or what it's trying to look like, and let me tell you, I really truly believe, as I'm saying all of this, that the very best way, or that I have found, or that, it's in the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, that, we accept life on life's terms, that we stop needing it to look a certain way. The minute we are able to sort of lay that burden down, where it's like, I really want it to look like this. I want to be the quarterback of the football team, or I want to be the head cheerleader, or, figuring out a way, fantasizing a path or whatever toward whatever it is that we want. And I'm sorry to use such simple stereotypes, but you know what I mean. When we stop needing it to be a certain way, and we see it, like when people always say when they used to hate having their picture taken, not everybody says this, but I've heard this a lot. People, when they were younger, hated getting their picture taken because they really were self-conscious and didn't really like the way that they looked, or didn't feel really confident about themselves. But then as like a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old, or even like a 90-year-old, even about their 50 or 60-year-old self, they look back and wish they would have had more pictures taken, because they from the age that they are now, they think, oh my gosh, I looked so beautiful. My skin didn't have wrinkles. You know what I'm saying? So there's this, and that's them with them, there's this energy of like, we can get information from what we want our lives to look like that is helpful. Okay? I really think this, because it shows us where we feel like we're not good enough, or where we feel like we're missing the mark, or, where we're criticizing ourselves. And when you look at it It's like fear, right? We have it here. When you look at it, and it kind of can come out in the way of anxiety, right? Of like, oh, I'm afraid I'm not enough. You know what I mean? But when you look at it, it's like fear. When you look something in the eye, when you're willing to look a shadow in the eye, it shrinks. It really shrinks. It works, you know, because you can ask yourself, well, could I handle it if that happened? You know what I mean? Could I handle it? And, you know, when you really, you know, sometimes we'll just quickly say, no, I couldn't handle it if that happened. But if you really, really allow yourself to go there, you can find ways in which you could survive it. Or, you know what I mean? I don't even know how to really say what I'm saying, and I hope you just get what I'm saying. But it's like, you know, when we let our hopes and dreams inform us about what we want, or we allow our, even like our fears or the things that keep us up at night to inform us of, you know, where we could really help ourselves or really bring ourselves into greater alignment with ourselves. um you know, we can begin to like heal our own wounds maybe, but also um just get closer and closer to our own authenticity, because we can turn off that critical voice for that thing. You know what I mean? And we can move on. And that's what it's about, is like really turning off that critical voice. It's about becoming the observer of your thoughts and accepting life on life's terms, instead of saying it should be like this, or I should be like this, or my experience should be different in this way, or, you know, if I was the best, or if I was this, or if I was that, you know, maybe I would be the, you know, what I want to be. But when you really look at that, and when you really, really, you know, look at that, you might sort of come to the place where you realize that, like, that might not really hold the reward or be the thing that is really going to make you happy, or is even going to really be something that makes you feel more secure. But if you're willing to look at it, and you're willing to see where that comes from, and you're willing to kind of address it, then you can fortify it. You can build it up. You can change it. You can address it. And then you can have, you know, you can become more in alignment with what it is that you want. And then more of what you want is going to come into your life. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I know that the cracks are where the light shines through. And I guess that's kind of what I'm saying, is that, you know, sometimes it's dark, or sometimes we feel anxious or insecure or whatever. And it's like, we don't want to feel those things. So we kind of turn our back on them, you know, with the Seven of Swords, and it becomes a misalignment within us. And instead, if we just are willing to shine a light on it, and, you know, the Hermit has gray hair. You know, it takes a long time in life for us to arrive at the place sometimes where we really recognize and understand shining a light on it. Or that, you know what, I'm tired of letting this happen time and time again, or I'm tired of experiencing the same thing over and over again. I guess I'm going to look at this now. You know what I mean? And I think it really has to do with kind of giving people who don't necessarily deserve it our loyalty, our love, our unconditionality. And when we understand the value of it, we make better choices, and better choices come into our life, you know, the choice that we're ready for with the Lover's card. And it is all about this decision right here, I feel like. Okay, let me do one more round. Wow, Four of Wands and the Strength card stayed down. Gosh, look at that, the Seven of Swords again. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, there it is, you know. Wow. Wow. Okay. Right. Okay. Honestly, I feel like this is almost a reiteration of that energy I'm getting from this with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Hangman in reverse. Like, we can't take, we aren't really given, what is this? It's like, it's almost like in looking. Okay, it's coming at me so many ways right now that I am like, all right, a little overwhelmed. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like, Pisces, you've taken a look back and you have, the Hangman energy is Piscean energy, right? I feel like you have taken a look back. I feel like you have reached like the level of enlightenment that you need to about this subject or about this situation. With the Hangman being in reverse, it just always makes me feel like your time of introspection or your time of searching for the answers or your time of gaining the enlightenment about this, it is done. You know what I mean? The reason why you weren't getting the opportunity or something that you were desiring, it's like there is some understanding here, or there is some it's not even, you know it is definitely a journey. It is, I feel like, a result of a journey within. So if this is resonating with you, I feel like you're someone who has really evaluated and introspected and looked at things. And it comes from a space of feeling like I'm not getting an opportunity at something solid and stable. And why aren't I getting that opportunity? And instead of looking outside yourself, looking to other people to bring this into your life, or looking for it in other people, or in even other things, or even material possessions, or whatever it is. It's like you have figured out that it comes from within, and you have, with the Hangman, taken that moment, taken that time, with you, to look back on the past and look back at things and how they went, and figure out the ways in which your behavior, it's like taking accountability almost for the part that you played in it, like possibly giving to people who it possibly not understanding your own worth, so not getting things of worth until you understood your own worth. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, I kind of want to say, like, you have passed the test, right? With the Strength card and the Four of Wands, which I don't know if you remember this, but I like just saw it when I was shuffling, or it like stayed down on the table, and here it is right underneath the bottom card on the bottom of the deck, and it's showing up with the High Priestess. There's this energy of the Four of Wands is where we see the result of our manifestation. We see the result of our opening, of our blossoming, of our blooming, of our expansion and our enlightenment. That halo that's typically around the Hangman's head. It's at the tip of each of these wands in this deck. And it just feels like, okay, now that I'm really understanding something, which I feel like it is the value of your cup, of what you're bringing to the table and what it's capable of building and growing. It's like your partner comes in, your manifestation comes in, your person comes in, and it's like you have somehow conquered the lower vibrational things of yourself, or even possibly your person has. But there's just this energy of you with you overcoming the things that were holding you back, or those things that were holding you in a place of kind of like misalignment, or self-sabotage, really is the energy. So this reading may not be for everyone, and you may not be resonating with it, and that is completely fine. Please do not let me put words in your mouth or ideas in your head. Like, resonation means that you have already felt this or thought this, and you hearing me say it is just confirmation for you. All right. So let me just clarify this. Energy. Yeah. I literally was just feeling this energy of show me what is coming now that we have reached this place and this point, and holy moly. Page of Cups, King of Cups, Temperance, the Sun, the Ace of Cups, and the Fool card. Holy moly. Yeah, we're starting a brand new cycle, the Fool card and the Ace of Cups in love. And it's one where we are very closely aligned with our authentic self, our authentic truth, our authentic heart here with the Page of Cups. And we're ready for this journey. We're ready, you know? With the Sun card and the Fool card, it's like I'm taking a leap of faith, and you know, with the Sun card, I'm believing the universe has my back. I'm believing the universe is going to catch me. You know what I mean? I'm believing that, you know, this newfound clarity that I have about myself and what I'm capable of with the Ace of Swords and the Empress up there is guiding me on this path or on this journey, that I can take this leap of faith toward my happiness and expect to kind of be happy. You have Temperance and the King of Cups. For me, you know, Temperance is typically that angel bringing two things together, right? And it feels like for some of you, you may be meeting someone at a party or a wedding or a catered event or a restaurant or even a buffet. I don't know with this Temperance card. But you know, I feel like it is like you are ready for an emotional counterpart, somebody who is capable of regulating their own emotions and doesn't need you to do that for them, because that creates a situation of codependency and overgiving on your part, Pisces. So this is like this energy where it's like someone who's willing to be vulnerable, someone who's able to regulate their own emotions, so they're solid and stable emotionally, and they don't mind diving into emotions. I mean, they're not typically, a King of Cups is not typically super expressive, but they're somebody that can have emotions and can stay, you know, regulated and stay, you know, not get triggered and run off on you. There's an energy here of someone who's more than willing to do that, and someone who may even be, I feel this energy of someone who kind of acts like it's not that big a deal that they met you, but it's a big deal. Like you have their complete focus here. But they're playing it cool. I feel like it's someone who's playing it a little bit cool. All right, Pisces, let me get you some messages here. Also, I am going to be taking a few days off. I'm really sorry, but I do need time off also. And I am super sorry though, because I know when you get used to something on a daily level and then someone isn't there for you, it can be tricky. But feel free to go back and watch any of my other videos, because, you know, to a certain extent, you know, tarot is, I don't want to say it's timeless because I don't believe that, but, you know, just feel free. Do whatever you feel guided to. But I will be back in about a week. I may put a reading out tomorrow, but yeah, I'll be back and I'll be rested and even better. And I will be making announcements associated with hitting 5,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please, please, please subscribe. Like 60% of the people that watch my videos day after day are not subscribed. And it is so helpful to have subscribers on YouTube. Okay. If you are dealing with the water sign, Pisces, you're getting, you were the best thing in my life, and I can't stop thinking about you, and finding out the truth crushed me. If you are dealing with a fire sign, Pisces, you are getting, I lost myself for a little while. I don't react when people mention you. So many things remind me of you. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you are getting, you and I were too young. I wish I could share my good news with you, and I want to be more than friends. If you're dealing with an air sign, I love you. I wish I had treated you better, and it's time for me to heal now. All right, Pisces. Wow. Well, I absolutely adore you. I'm going to go make the most of my rest. I may be on tomorrow, but I may not. And if not, I will see you in about a week. All right. I wish you guys the very best, and I send you off with my very best. And if this one resonates, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All right. To each and every one of you, good luck out there. Bye.